Welcome friends to One Stop Java Solutions. I am Snehasis and today I am going to explain you TCS Proctored assessment of February 2021. Okay, so here is the assessment. So first read the assessment carefully and try to understand what you have to do. Here you can see that you have to create a class voter with the below attributes. There is 5 attributes. Okay, voter ID, voter name, voter age, voter is voter casted. This is a boolean type, and the constituency. It is a string type variable. So these 5 attribute you have, and you have to create a class voter, and you have to write the setter and getter methods. Okay, and the constructor, parameterized constructor. Okay, then create a class MyClass with main method. Okay, so if you means from this part you can understand that you have to create a class which will contain the main method, and that class name should be MyClass. Okay, so your program should also be stored as a myclass.java. Okay, so I am going to Eclipse, and here you can see that I already have created a workspace, and also there is a project that YouTube demo, and in here if you go src, then okay, here I am creating first one package. Okay, so go to new and creating a package and putting the package name like TCS Proctored assessment. It's Feb 21. Okay, click on finish. So this package created, and then inside this package I am creating one class. Okay, and this class name is MyClass. Okay, and this class will contain your main method. So this class should be public, and it will contain your main method, so you can write it manually, or here as I am using the ID, so here you can see that the option public static void main. So just click on this checkbox. Okay, and click on finish. So here you can see that the automatically code will be generated. So what it's done, that package I am writing this code inside this package TCS February 21. This is my package name, then the public class MyClass, and this class will contain the main method, so public static void main. Okay, so this part is done. Now you have to create another class, is called voter. Okay, here you can see that create a class voter. So here I am creating another class. So you know that while you compiling this code, so the means your class should be stored, this code would be stored as a myclass.java, and you have to compile that myclass.java only. Okay, and it will create a class file, and then that myclass you can means run. Okay, so basically this is, so that's why it is a public class. So the another class I am writing here only, that class voter. Okay, so which class will contain the main method, that class will be public. Okay, so here I am creating another class voter, and inside this class what I am going to write, I declaring this variable first. Okay, and here you can see that the attribute should be private. Okay, because this is the oops feature. Okay, so they are the means the variable whatever you are writing inside a class, okay, that must be private. Okay, so this is basically the data encapsulation. So that means if you make this as a private, then you cannot access this attribute or variables outside of this class directly. Okay, either you have to use the setter and getter methods, or you can write any method to access this attribute. Okay, so here what I am doing, I just means the signature of this declaration of variable is like, first you have to give the type and then the variable name. Okay, so that is I am doing, and now copy this set of values, because this set of values you required in the main method as well, because you have to take the values for this attribute from the console. So that's why I am pasting the same set of variables here as well. Okay, and now I am declaring this as a private. Okay, So private in voter ID. In the main method you can write the means you use the different name, but if you use the same name, that it will be easier to you to relate the variables value. Okay, so these are the 5 variables and I make this as a private. Now you have to write the setter and getter method, so you can write the manually, or here inside the Eclipse ID you have the functionality, so you can use this functionality directly. Go to source and here you can see generate getter and setters. Right click on it and select all, because you have to get all the getters and setters for all the attributes. Okay, and then click on OK. So you can see here that setter and getter methods, it's done. Okay, so code is already placed in your this program, in the space. So here it is very simple, that while you are setting a value, that means public, suppose this one, if you see that public string get constituency. Okay, that means you are, this is a getter method, so I am just add the get before your variable, so get constituency and return the constituency value. Okay, whatever the value of this constituency, that is returning. And while you are setting the values, that is it expecting some value, so that's value we are passing as a string, so string constituency, and this dot constituency, this constituency is the attribute, this attribute. Okay, here you can see that we are defining private string constituency, so this is the attribute of this class. So this dot attribute, that means the class, and this constituency whatever we are passing, that is the this value. Okay, so what we are doing, basically we are assigning values to the attribute of the constituency of this class, whatever we are passing. Okay, and this is referring to the current class object, so I will show you the current object reference. Okay, when you are calling this means this getter method, you have to call by through a object. Okay, so that current object means whatever object is calling this method, that object is referring to, this variable is referring to that object. It is the object reference. Okay, and now you have to write the constructor. So basically constructor is used when you are creating the object of this class, so it will directly assign the values to this attribute whatever you have defined in this class. So here also you can go to the source and here you can see that generate constructor using fields. Okay, so it's already selected all these things, and now click on OK. So here you can see that int voter id, string voter name, everything is came here, and here also the same logic, this dot voter id, that means this voter id, this is the attribute of the of this class, and this voter id means the whatever voter id you are passing. Okay, so like this way. And here also note one thing, that the constructor, there should be no return type, even void. Okay, although means for method, if it is not returning anything, then you have to write the void, but for constructor you cannot return anything. Okay, not even void. And also the constructor name should be same of the class name. So here you can, your class name is voter, so constructor name should be the same, voter, public voter. And then all the parameters, whatever, this is the parameterized constructor, so whatever parameter list you have, I have passed all the values. Okay, you can means whatever value you are assigning at the time of object creation, that value you only have to pass here. But here I am assuming that all the means attribute values we will assign at the time of object creation. Okay, that's why I passed all the values. Okay, so this part is done. Now here you can see that implement two static methods. Okay, then you have to implement two static methods inside the MyClass. Okay, method name is this and this, then this is the part, and then here you can see that before calling the static methods in main, USI scanner, so object would be read the values for the for voter object referring attributes in the above mentioned attribute sequence. Next, read the values of the string parameter for the capture of for the capturing the constituency. Okay, so first you have to create 4 set of object. Okay, so 4 set of object of voter. So what I will do here, I am writing here, first I am defining one scanner class, scanner sc equal to new scanner, scanner is equal to new scanner. Then means what will the scanner class will do? Scanner class will take the input from the console, system console, and means it will assign to the in your desired attribute. Okay, so scanner is equal to new scanner, then it will take from system console, so system dot in, it will expecting some value system.in, so it will take the values from, and while you are using the scanner class, it is java.util package, so you have to import this package. So here you can see that import java.util.scanner. Okay, this package you have to import. So this is done, scanner object defined. Then you have to create 4 voter object, okay, and store in an array. So here I am writing voter array. Okay, and I am giving the name as anything you can give, like voter array, you can give it as a voter array. So voter equal to voter array, I am creating voter array, okay, equal to new voter, and you have to store the 4 voter objects. So I am defining the size as 4 directly. Here I am giving the size 4. Okay, so what I will do now, I will create 4 voter object, and every voter object will contain, there is 5 attribute you have to assign. Okay, the attribute is voter ID, these are the 5 attributes. So what I will do, I will write here one for loop for int I equal to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus, and in every iteration I will read these 4 values from console. Okay, so these 4 values, and I am storing inside this attribute. So first one is the voter ID, so this is a string type, sorry, integer type. So voter ID equal to SC, so using the scanner class I will read the values from console and store in the voter ID. Okay, integer, this is the integer type. So for that integer, it's use the next int method. Okay, so voter ID equal to SC dot next int. Similarly, voter name, this is a string type. So here I am writing voter name equal to SC dot next, and for string type you can see next line. Okay, so next line, it will means take a values from the console on string, and it will assign to the voter name. And then the voter age, it's again integer. So here I write down voter age equal to SC dot, it's a integer, so next int, use this method. So these are the basically scanner class is a inbuilt class inside the means Java. Okay, so I am taking the facilities, I just import the that package in which the scanner class is means mentioned. So I am importing that class and using the facilities of that class. Okay, nothing else. And SC, I create the object of the scanner class SC, and using that SC object I am calling these methods, and this rest of the part this method will do. This method will take the values from the console and assign to your variable attributes. Okay, voter age, then the boolean is voter casted. So this is a voter is voter casted equal to SC dot next boolean. Here you can see that next boolean also there. Okay, and then the string constituency, this is also SC dot next line. Okay, so till now what I did, I for every iteration of this for loop I read the 5 set of values from the console, and I am storing in this 5 attribute. Okay, and then in each iteration you have to create one object of voter class. Okay, and you have to store in this voter array. Okay, so array name is voter array, so copy this voter array, and in ith position what I will store, I will create new, then voter, and then you have to pass these 5. So here you can see we are calling the voter not this one, voter. So I am calling using the new function, I am creating the object of this voter class. Okay, and here I am calling the constructor, and constructor inside, if you see the constructor is taking these as a parameter. Okay, this is a parameterized constructor and this is expecting this parameter in sequence. So I am just giving the values here. Is voter casted and constituency. Okay, so in each iteration what I am doing, I am creating one object using the constructor of the voter class and storing that object inside the means ith position of this array. So initially it is 0, so 0th position it will store one object, first position 1th position it will store another, third position and fourth, sorry, second and third. So there is a 0 to third, that means 4 object will be stored in this array. Okay, and here one thing you have to remember, if after reading any integer or any means numeric values, if you try to read this string values, then you have to use these ones here. And here also you can see that after reading the boolean values, you are trying to read the string values, so then you have to use this line once again, AC dot next line once here as well. And now if you go to the assessment, then here you can see that next read the values of the string parameters for capturing the constituency. So you have to read one constituency value once again outside of this loop. So this loop, what it will do, it will take the 5 set of attribute values in each iteration and it will create a voter object and it will store that voter object in the voter array. That's it. Okay, and outside of this loop you have to read this constituency once again, constituency values, and these values will passing when we call those method, static method. So that method I not yet implemented. Okay, so this part is done. Now go to the this part, that implement two static methods. One is the find total values by the constituency. Okay, so this method, what it will do basically, this method will go to Eclipse. Now inside the main method, so this is the main method, and after that public static, the return type. Okay, as of now I am writing void, public static void, then give the method name and what the attribute it will expect. Okay, so that attribute you have to write here. Attribute, here you can see that the first total constituency method, this method will take two input parameters. Okay, it will take two input parameters, array of the voter object and string parameters. Okay, so array of the voter object, so array of the voter object means voter array basically. This is the voter array. I declared it. Here you can see that voter array. So this is the one parameter it is expecting, and another one is the string type constituency. Okay, so here you can see that string constituency is there. Okay, so these two parameters, it will take two parameters, and what it will do basically inside the method, if you read this assessment once again, this method parameters of array, voter object and string parameters, the method will return the total number of voter casted from array of the voter object for the given constituency. String parameter passed. If no voters has been casted for the given constituency in the array of the voter object, then the method should return 0. Okay, so what we will do here, here you can see that boolean is vote casted. Okay, this method is there. Okay, so here what we will check, and also the constituency, whatever constituency we are sending. Okay, so this must be true. Okay, so two things you have to write here. First you have to check the constituency is matching or not. Okay, so for that what we'll do, so suppose we are here writing on count equal to 0. Okay, initially we are taking one count variable here inside this method, and then I got this array here, and this array containing 4 set of objects. So for that I am writing one loop for loop here for int I equal to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus. So here every time you can see that I am writing the hard coded value 4 here. So instead of using hard coded value, you can directly use the length method also. Okay, because I know here it is mentioning only 4 objects, so that's why I am writing that the size as a 4 means for loop size. Otherwise you can use the means length. You can use the length method of this array, and whatever length it will return till the length you can iterate your for loop. Okay, so here I am using the hard coded only. Now I am you have to check that the first you have to check the whatever the array you have that containing the 4 object, and the each object whatever the constituency is there. Okay, so that is matching with this constituency or not. So for that what I am doing, if this voter array, okay, this is your array name voter array. If this voter array I dot get constituency dot equal ignore case. Okay, why I am using equal ignore case? Because if you use the equal ignore case, then suppose constituency is constituency 1 or constituency 2, whatever. So if you mean C is capital, okay, so constituency C, suppose here you can see that C is capital constituency, and if you write is a constituency name in small, then if you use the equal ignore case, then it will not means not case sensitive. Not case sensitive means if you use the means uppercase or lowercase, it will treat both as the same. Okay, so that's why I'm using the equal ignore case, because here assessment also you can see that it's mentioned that the mentioned static method should call from the main method, no voter should add the voter ID, all searches should be case insensitive. Okay, case insensitive means upper means they will not treat upper and lower case as a different one. Okay, both it will treat as the same. Okay, so first I am checking this one, and if the constituency match, then what I will do, then I will check if this voter array I dot, if this voter array I dot is vote casted, this is a boolean equal to true. Okay, if these two conditions matched, then what I will do, I will count, I will increment the count values. Okay, so initially it is 0. So suppose you have a 4 object and 4 object match this condition, then the count value will be 4, and if there is a 3 object match this condition, then the count value will be 3, or 2, then it will be 2, like that. And then you have to return, here you can see that you have to return constituency array of the voter, and then the method should return the 0. If no constituency matches, then it will return 0. If there is matched condition, okay, then it will return that means value only. So here I am, what I will do, I will instead of void I will write here int, and here this is your method, this is your method. Okay, so after that I am returning return count. Okay, and inside main method, here you can see that the main method should print the voter ID. It's not this one. The main method should print the total number of vote tested as it is, not tested, is casted. If the return value is greater than 0, or it should print no vote casted. Okay, so I will call this method from main method. Okay, I will call this from the main method, and what I will do, I've checked the values what it is returning 0. So here if this method find total value, here remove this type. Okay, so this value will be return either 0. If it is 0, then what I will print system.out.println, that message I will print here, else I'll print system.out.println this method. So this method will return some integer values. So I am directly copying this method, call this method from here. So here I am printing these values, and if it is 0, then I'll print this message here. What is the message? No vote casted. This message I will print. No vote casted. Okay, so that I am printing here. Okay, and if it is not 0, then I will print the value whatever it will pass. Okay, so this part is done. Then for the second one, so second one, it's here you can see that the second one. So second one, what it is saying, that the search voter by age method. Okay, the method name is search voter by age. So write that method, and then this is a, also here you can see that this is a two static methods. Okay, so this method also should be static. So static method means instead of creating the object of that class, you can directly, using the class, you can directly call those methods. Here also you can see that we are directly calling, there is no object, we are directly calling find total values created by the constituency. We are directly calling this method. Okay, so now after this method I am writing the second method here. Public static, and currently I am returning void, then the method name, and then the parameter. Okay, here you can see this method will, the method will return, this method will take an array of the voter object as a parameter. Only one parameter, that is the voter. So copy this one, voter array. So this it will take as a parameter. Okay, and now inside this method what you have to do. Okay, so this is done. Now see here that the method will return a voter object array in an ascending order of their voter ID. Okay, from the array of the voter object where voter age is less than 30. Okay, if no voter with age less than 30 in present in the array of the voter object, then it should return null. Okay, so what I will do, first inside this method take a variable count. Okay, int count equal to 0. Okay, so first I am defining one variable count, integer variable, and we are assigning the values as 0. Now what I'll do, first you have to, means just look at carefully. First I got this array. Okay, voter array inside this means taking as a parameter. Then I will iterate a for loop, and I will iterate means in each iteration I will pick up every voter object, and I will check the age of the voter is less than 30 or not. If it is 30, I will means collect those objects and store in the same array from the beginning. Okay, so what I will do for that, for int I equal to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus, and here I plus plus, and now I will check if, for each iteration I will check if this voter array I dot get the voter age, if this voter age means less than 30, so it less than 30, then what I will do, then I will voter array, I have another variable count, so count, I am incrementing the values of the count equal to this voter array. So what I am doing, so first I am checking that the means whatever array I have, that array containing 4 voter objects, and each object I am checking the age is less than 30 or not. If it is less than 30, then I from the beginning of the index, means 0th index, so initially you can see that count is 0, so from the beginning index I am storing those object values. Okay, so that what it will mean, suppose there is a 4 object and 2 is matched, so first 2 means first and second means 0th position and 1th position, first position the object will be stored. Okay, required means these two are is my required object. Okay, so that I am storing in the from the beginning. And you can also do in another way. Instead of doing that, that also, you know, that you cannot do, because you don't know the how much size. So it may be the means 4 object will be matched, that the age is less than 30. There might be no object match and there might be 2 object match. Okay, so you don't know how should be the size of the array what you have to return. So then, so this is the best thing that you have to do. So first I am copying this, and suppose there is a 3 match, then count value should be 3 only. Okay, so now what I'll, after this loop, what I'll check if count greater than 0. Count greater than 0 means there is at least one match is there. In that case, what I'll do, okay, so I have to create another, means I have to take another object, means another array of the voter, that will I will means that will contain only those values that age should less than 30. Okay, voter is less than 30, that object only hold. So for that, what I'll do here, voter new voter, new voter, and initially I am assigning it as null. I don't know how is the size. Now I got the means how many object has the age greater than 30, less than 30. Okay, so now I got the size. Then inside this method, means I checked if it is greater than 0, then what I will do, new voter equal to new, this new, and then creating, means now I am creating the array. Here I am means defining the array object, and here I am originally creating the array. Okay, means this is the array reference basically, and here I am creating the array with the size. So voter array, sorry, new voter, and giving the count, size as a count. So if count means, that means if okay, so suppose there is a 3 match, then I have to create the array of size 3. If there is a 2 match, then I have to create an array of the size 2. Okay, like that. Now what I will do, inside this new array, I will means copy it. I already kept all the means matched object in the previous array, that is the voter array, from the beginning to the means position of the count. Suppose there is a 3, then 0 1 2. Okay, like that. So these are my required objects, so that object I am copying from this previous array to the new array. Okay, so for that, what I will do, for int I equal to 0, I less than count, I plus plus. Okay, and in every iteration in this new array, new voter array, I equal to, from where, this voter array. So from this voter array I am copying the required object into my new array. Okay, so this is done. Now after that, what I'll do, I have to now the in your means I got the desired object or required object inside my new voter array. Okay, and now I have to sort these based on the voter ID ascending order. Okay, so for that, what I'll do, I have to iterate two for loops. For int I equal to 0, I less than, here it's count only, count I plus plus. Okay, and inside this for loop I have to write another one, for int j equal to I, j plus plus, j I, j less than count and j plus plus. And every iteration of the inner loop, what I'll do, I'll just check if the means new voter, means whatever the this new voter I dot id dot get voter id, if this value is greater than, if this is greater than the jth value. So in it means every time what I'll check that the ith value, if it is greater than the jth values, get id voter id, then that means so I is the outer loop, I is the outer loop and j is the inner loop. So for means ith, for 0th position I will check rest of the array elements voter id. If it is greater than, that means I have to place the smaller one first, because you have to arrange it in ascending order. So for that what I will do, I am just checking that the ith position id, if it is less than, sorry, if it is greater than the rest of the position, then I will swap those object, because in the initial position I need only the smallest voter id. Okay, so for that I have to perform one swap operation here. So for that what I will do, voter, or I am taking one temp variable, voter temp equal to this new voter I. Okay, new voter I, then the new voter I equal to new voter j. So whatever the jth position value, that is the smallest with voter id. So that's why in ith position I am copying that jth position, and the ith position value I first copied into the temp. So then in the jth position what I will do, I will means swap the ith position, means temp values. So what it is basically done, that in the ith position I copied the values in a temp variable, and then in ith I copied from jth position to the ith position, and then jth position I copied from temp value into the jth position. So this is basically a simple swap operation. Okay, it's temp. Okay, so that's it. So like that, so after each iteration means for first ith iteration, so ith position should be the come as a smallest voter id object. Okay, then for the second iteration the second position would be sorted like that, third position would be sorted, and how many object is there, based on that it will be sorted. And after that I will return this new voter. Okay, I have to return the new voter from here. So this is your, not this is your method. So from here what I will do, return new voter. Okay, and here it will returning, return type is void, so I have to make that voter, it will return a voter array. Okay, and this voter array will contain those object, okay, those voter object who have the age less than 30 and in ascending order of the voter id. Okay, and now here you can see that inside main method, the main method should print the voter id from the return voter object array if the return value is not null. Okay, so here you can see if here you can see that I initially here the new voter I define as a null. So if any condition not matched, then it will return only null values, and if any condition matched, then it will return that matched array which contain the matched values. Okay, so now what I'll do, inside the main method I have to call this method. Okay, so this is your method name, just copy the method name. Okay, this is your method name, and from inside the main method I'll call this method, and this method will return a voter array. So for that what I'll do, I'll create here one voter array equal to I am giving that the same name, that new voter equal to, I am calling this method. Okay, voter array. So this method will return an array, and that array I am storing in this new voter. Okay, this is the array reference basically, so referring to that same array whatever it will returning. Okay, now what I will do, first I will check if this new voter equal to null. Okay, here I am checking if this new voter equal to null. If this new voter equal to null, then what I will print, system.out.println, I will print this message. The message is that if it is null, no such voters. Okay, so this method it will print no such voters. No such voters. Okay, and else what I will do, else I have to print all the voter ID. Okay, so for that, for int I equal to 0, I less than this new voter. Okay, sorry, int I equal to 0, I equal to 0, I less than new voter. Here I don't know the size of the new voter, so that's why I use this length method. Okay, so new method length, so this not method, so this is basically the it will return the length of the new voter, so new voter length, and then I plus plus. Okay, and inside that I will print the new voter I dot new voter I dot, here it's the voter ID, so that's voter ID ascending order you have to print. Okay, so that's it. Now if you run this with this input set, here is the input set. Okay, I will explain what is the input and how this is working, and this is the output set. So first copy this notepad. Okay, and here you can see that. Okay, and here now run it. And if you run this, 3 array index out of bound to MyClass.java into one line. Okay, what if new voter ID if new voter I dot get voter ID greater than new voter J dot get voter ID. Okay, so first one is coming as a 3, it's good, so this should be 3, then it should be the 104. Okay, so check once again, int I equal to 0. Okay, fine, I less than count I plus plus, int j equal to I, j less than count. Oh, sorry, here I plus plus. It's instead of I, it's j. Okay, j plus plus. Okay, so run it once again, and okay. So here you can see it's 3 1004 1008. Okay, here you can see 3 1004 1008. And now if I explain you that code, here you can see that what I am doing. So here if you see the input set, okay, input set, so basically this is the voter ID, then the name, okay, then the age, then the boolean is casted is true or false, then the constituency. So these five is the means for every object, voter object. So there is a 4 voter object, so 20 like this type of set, and then the voter ID is 3. Okay, and till this it's the second set. Then for the voter ID 1004, this is the fourth set, and for 5 it is the fifth set. And now I am passing the constituency 1 as a parameter. So first method, what it will do basically, the first method will check the how many constituency 1 is there. Okay, 1 2 3, and for every 3 you can see that here the casted is casted is true, here also it casted is true, and here also is casted is true. So 3 matched is done here. Okay, 3 you will find the 3 match. So here you can see that first method what it will do. So first method you can see that first we are checking the constituency, so there is a 3 match, and for every constituency the is casted is true, so that's why count is 3, so you will get the output as 3. Okay, now if you change anything here, suppose do it false, okay, and copy it and run it once again. Here give the input, and now here you can see that it's a 2. So there is a 3 constituency match, but the is casted there is a 2 match because I make one false. Okay, so here you will get the 2. Okay, now the second method what it will do, it get the values, and if you see the first one, the age is 29. Okay, for the second, here you can see that age is 28. Okay, so there is only 2 matches of age less than 30. Okay, and for 28 you can see that id is 1004, and for 29 id is 1008. Okay, so if you ascending order means you are ordering this array as a ascending order, so first it will come 1004 and then the 1008. Okay, and suppose you just change this as this is a 43, so just do it, make it 23. So there is a 3 match basically. Now there is 3 match. So now if you run this once again, if you run this code, so there is a 3 match. So now you can see 3 4 and 8. Okay, this value will get. So 3, here you can see that I make this one as a 23. So lowest is a means lowest voter id is 1003, then it's 1004, and then it's 1008. Okay, so that's it. And now if you change the constituency, suppose I make it as a CONS, so there is a no constituency with name CNS, because here you can see that constituency CONS 1 and CONS 2 is there, but no CONS. So now if you run this, then you will definitely get that error message. You will get the message that no vote casted. Okay, but this is matched. And if you now change the all the means voter id greater than 30, then you will get that message obviously that no vote matches. Or what is the message was there? Here you can see that the message what you are printing. For the first one, no such vote, no vote casted for the first one. And if you change everything as means greater than 30, then you will get this no such voters. Okay, this message you will get. So this is all about. So I am explaining once again. So first what we do means, in summarize I can say you that first we create a voter class. Okay, and a main class and a class MyClass that will contain the main method, and voter class is containing these 5 attribute, and I write the setter and getter methods for every attribute, and the constructor. Okay, this constructor will take all the 5 parameters, all the 5 attributes as parameters. Okay, now inside the main method, what I am doing, I am writing this for loop, and inside this for loop, using the scanner class, I picked up the all the 5 attribute values from the console and creating object. In each iteration, I am creating one array object, one voter object, and storing in the voter array. Okay, like that 4 voter array object I created. Okay, and then I am taking another values, that is the constituency, and that constituency I will pass to the first method along with the voter array. Okay, and the first method, what it is doing basically, first method will check that if the constituency is matched, whatever the voter object and whatever the constituency passed. So if this the voter array, whatever the object is containing the voter array, if this array the constituency and this constituency is matched, then what it will do, it will just check, and then it will check the voter is vote casted. If it is true, then it will means increment the count and send the count values, and the main method will print if the count is 0, then it will print no vote casted, and else it will print the message means count values only. Okay, and for the second method, it is only take the object, array object of the voters, and then the array of the voter objects, and then what it will doing, it's just check the if age is less than 30, then I am collecting those object from the array, means voter object from the array, and I am storing those objects from the 0th position. Okay, and after that I find also found out that the how many object the age is less than 30. Okay, so based on that I am creating another array. Okay, new voter count. So this is count basically the means how many object has the age greater than less than 30. Okay, so based on that I create a new array, and I copied all the values from the, not all the values, all the desired values, means where the age is less than 20, those object in the new array, new voter array. Okay, and now I am checking that the means just do a bubble sort. Okay, so for every I am picked up the first object and checking rest of the objects. If age is greater than, then I will swap those objects, and accordingly in the first iteration I will get the smallest voter object with containing the smallest voter id. Okay, so that I will get, and after that I will return the new voter array which has content all the voter objects has is less than 30 and the in ascending order of the voter id. Okay, and inside the main method I got that array, and inside this main method what I am doing basically, I here I am just printing that I am checking if the array value, if it's the new voter is null, then I will print no such voters, and else if there is a some values, then that is obviously containing the voter object with ascending order of the voter id, so that voter id I am printing. Okay, so that's it. So hope you understand this assessment. Okay, so in my channel you can see all the previous Java assessment conducted by TCS, so everything I have given with a detailed explanation, and also you will get the solutions. Okay, so if you like my channel, you can subscribe my channel and also click on the bell icon, so that once I upload the next video you will get the notification. And if you like my channel, you can share with your friends. Okay, and in my channel basically I am covering all the Java related topics, core Java, advanced Java, and also the web project related, means how you will create the website. Okay, so the basic and fundamentals of the creating websites, so that I already have covered. Also you can see that in the database connectivity, so how you will means here you can see that I am giving the values from the console directly, but if you stored some values in a database, how you will pick up those values from the database. Okay, so that the basic things I already covered, so you can go through my channel and watch all the relevant topics. Thanks for watching this video.